Chuck, I would say that the primary issue is the fact that the county attorney, being the prosecutor on the first line, he's the first one there, and he being the legal advisor to law enforcement, I believe he sets the tone, if you will. He more or less generates the philosophy of how the laws will be enforced in our county, and so that is of exceptional importance to all of us, because it affects us in our everyday lives, whether it's our homes that are to be protected, our loved ones, business activities, etc. Also, I think that along those same lines, the drug issue is a very important issue. It's an important issue across this nation. We hear it every day. When I was watching the Kentucky Derby this afternoon, one of the winning jockey was saying that if he was asked if there was something that he wanted to say, and he said, "Yes, please say no to drugs." It's a war that can be won, and I think that the county attorney has got to be the person to help bring the information. Information, as well as law enforcement, is how we're going to win that war, but we've got to bring the information into the schools, the churches, to parents, to the community, and make it something that we are cognizant of on a daily basis.
Mr. Moderator, I didn't recognize Chuck's comment as a question about issues. Could I have part of my 3 minutes back? I thought he just said none of you addressed issues in response to the previous question.
Mr. Miller, I think we'll have plenty of time to cover the issue.
All right.
If you would, let's have a question from Mr. Rose.
Okay.
I do want to address this issue. A couple of you mentioned the drug problem. It's an issue that's been all around the nation, and it's very important that we solve. President and Mrs. Reagan had the program called Just Say No. Have you formulated a program of your own to curb the drug problem here in Murray and Calloway County?
Father of four. I think that, as I said a minute ago, one of the most important things I could do as county attorney would be to push and help adopt various programs in various aspects of our society throughout the community. For instance, something for even the grade school students. I see no problem with beginning to deal with the drug issue when they start to school. I see no problem with us having a team of experts or people who are informed in the area that may be available for church groups. I see no problem in having people who are informed that can talk to parents associations, whether it's PTA, PTO, homemakers, what it is. It's a matter of people being informed about the dangers of drugs and being able to explain to them how it can destroy not only the individual but even a community.
President Bush has, since Inauguration Day, appointed a drug czar, as you know, and has made money available for that nationwide. Callaway County is fortunate, I think, if we're talking about comparisons. I think comparatively, to have a university here, we have a very small drug problem compared to other places. It's true that, Mr. Rose, that most of it is jumping into the education field now. The county attorney can assist, can counsel, and can talk with the law enforcement people and be of assistance, can certainly help with the educational programs. But when you get right down to the nitty-gritty, all the drug cases, all the trafficking in drugs are in circuit court. And that's Judge Buckingham and the Commonwealth's attorney, Mike Ward. We get it first, but we never try those. Someone asked me today, said they heard something on the radio that the county attorney was going to confiscate cars and property, and the county attorney don't do that because these are all felonies and they're not handled by the county attorney. But we certainly can help with the education, setting a tone, and be of assistance to the people who handle it.
As as Ron indicated, and as Bob has said, you've got to educate the children. You've got to educate them about the dangers of these drugs. And these programs that they've talked about are excellent as far as education of the children. The other aspect of this is I believe you've got to go after these drug dealers. And whether you have the responsibility of trying them or not, you've got to get them. And that's what we've been doing for the last 3 years. At least that's what I've been doing, and with the assistance of many people in the law enforcement community. I've cut marijuana all over this county. I've burned it. I've put it in trucks. I've been out on the lake with J.D. looking for it on those islands. And it's a situation where you cannot give up. You have just got to be out there with them. And you've got to be on their case, and you've got to let them know that you're out there. And you've got to put them out of business. I've had people call my house and warn me, say, we're going, you were in our gun sights. I've been with a deputy sheriff when his car was burned at the hospital because he was getting too close to somebody. But you can't let that deter you. You've got simply to get out there and prosecute them. I think it's the county attorney's job to get them into court. Whether they go on to circuit court, that's fine. Get them up there. But it's our job to get them to that grand jury, and we've got to do that. Well, just last night, we had received complaints on this fella. He had been pushing his poison for months. We finally, last night, got a search warrant. We got in his place. And if you can get a close-up of this, you can see our results. We got this was taken at 1 o'clock this morning. These are sheriff's deputies and myself. Simply, we executed that search warrant, and we got out there, and we found what we were looking for. This was at 1 o'clock this morning. These are the type of things you have to do, in addition to educating our children. Thank you.
Mr. Anderson, your question for our candidate.
We read that the crime rate is going up across the nation. We read statistics from metro areas, urban areas, communities like ours. One of the things that Rand McNally judged Murray, Kentucky as the #1 retirement spot was the low crime that we had here. I would like for you to tell us about the crime statistics in Calloway County, how you perceive it in relation to other places. We're not naive enough to think that we can go off and leave our doors locked, but the crime as you would compare it to communities like this across the country, and why you would help or have helped keep it that way.
Security is certainly a big problem for elderly people. They are no longer able to defend themselves, or at least with the average person that's out there trying to mug them or take their property. We did rank high on security. Murray's one of the communities where you feel comfortable. If you're a waitress at McDonald's, you can go to your car at 11 o'clock in the parking lot and not believe you're going to get mugged on the trip. You can go to a football game at Murray State University and go to a parking lot without fear of somebody grabbing you. It's a joint effort. I mean, David's talking about out on those islands cutting that marijuana. You know, there are 30,000 people in that county want to see you in that office from 8 to 5, and there's just so much you can do. You can't spread yourself too thin, but these security problems are great problems, particularly for elderly people. They want to feel secure in their house. And we have radio equipment now that's much more sophisticated. We have rap sheets where we can do PFOs on those people that continue to steal and rob. After 2 or 3 offenses, they're treated differently. Security in this county is great comparatively, Walt, to answer your question. That is one of the things Rand McNally rated us high.